A lot of comfort on this boat and a lot of safety on this boat too. Oh, it's wonderful. This is the best nav station we've seen so far. It's got everything I could want, and it's got it the way I would want it. Hi there, this is Captain Q. Join us as we travel hither and yon to show you some great deals on some really interesting boats and maybe learn just a little bit with each one.
Captain!
Randy, over here, buddy.
Where are we?
Look.
Is this Gorillas in the Mist?
Yes, I am the gorilla in the mist.
It's wrapped up and it's summer.
It's all wrapped up. This is the surprise. You can have a quick peek at it. That's all I'm going to give you. And then you and our fans are going to have to guess what it is. And next week, we're going to unwrap it.
Oh, really?
And the first person to come up with the identity of this vessel will get a little bit of merch.
Oh, all right.
What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Okay. So take your best shot.
Do we have no other hints?
No, that's it. That's the whole deal. This week I have a really swell thing. Come on down this way. It's indoors. We've got a beautiful black boat to look at today. We like black boats. Wasn't that one of my favorite boats was black?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Here's a black boat. This is a 1999 Shannon 43. We have seen Shannons before, haven't we?
Well, yeah.
What did we just see last week?
The 28.
A Shannon 28. So that was a good boat that, for what it's worth, we suggested would be a wonderful single-handed boat, right?
Yep.
Now, a few months back, we looked at a second Shannon.
39?
We looked at a Shannon 39, and that was a beauty. And that a couple could just have a wonderful time, maybe occasionally have a guest on board, or a couple of little children maybe. Now this time, we're taking one step beyond. We've gone single, couple. This is at least a two-couple boat. There is no reason in the world you can't take off around the world with this boat. She's solid, she's deep here. She's not particularly flat bottom. She has a nice curvature to her bilge. We have our good old-fashioned mush bow, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
That's a nice musher right there. That's going to settle in nicely. Look at the gel coat on this boat. It's immaculate. We've come to understand what these boats look like and their profile. And I'm standing right here in front of what we know to be a Walt Schultz design. He has a good deep bow, 4 foot to it, a really long keel that's been cut away, and more than a brewer bite, shall we say, with a skeg-hung rudder back aft. What are the keels we can recognize now when we walk into boat yards? We can recognize an Allberg keel right away, right?
Yep.
Full keel, attached rudder. How about a Sparkman Stevens design from the early 70s?
Sure.
Split keel and rudder with the a little bit of a sweep back to it. How about a CNC keel configuration? Really angled back, looks like the fin of a shark upside down or something. This boat feels like it's new already. We're not even topsides yet, but here's a great big feathering prop. One thing about these two, you see these two fittings right here? You can take those out and replace them with a Zerk fitting. And a Zerk fitting is like a little metal nipple, and you push a grease gun onto that Zerk fitting and then pump up the grease until you see grease start to squeeze out of various parts of the prop. And you put this plug back in, and you'll know that you have now serviced and greased this whole feathering prop. And we also have the line cutter back here. Two great big zincs attached to a metal plate down here on the skeg. That's going to transfer itself up through the stainless steel rudder stock here, and the same thing on this side. So she's galvanically ready to go to sea. Up under here we have a series of through-hull fittings, probably related to the engine, and of course our big ground plate. It looks like the first coat of paint on the boat, so this may have been soda blasted sometime recently, but it's wicked smooth. The boot top, can't tell again, is that paint or not? I think that's painted on, but that certainly looks like the original gel coat. And we like black hulls, don't we? What was the other black hull that we found in a building?
Probably the Firefly.
Exactly. Now this boat is just, I think 2 feet shorter than Firefly, but it sort of feels almost as big, doesn't it? Up here toward the bow, we also see a piece of rub rail up here with the stainless strip on it. We like that. And there's even one above it. It sort of has doubles. When you go into many of those ports that just don't have good docks or piers, you're going to protect your paint job and so on. Now up toward the bow here, they have a nice little gold squiggle, little ID for the boat, if you will. And that kind of reminds me somewhat of what? Choi Lee? Had a little bit like that.
Yeah.
So there's a certain elegance. That little squiggle adds to things. Bowsprit here. There's no real staining. A couple little pieces around some of these boats here. You might want to check that. But that's one piece that we want to be very careful of on all these boats. And I think it tends to get forgotten. A bowsprit is very much like and operates the same way as a spreader, a wooden spreader on a mast. And you can't let wooden spreaders just stay up and stay up and stay up without attending to them, without sanding them, refinishing them, keeping the moisture out of the spreader. But this has been attended to.
I don't think I've seen a bow with a stout end like that before.
Well, you know, think about that. First of all, that's not cutting through any water. And number two, you've got a massive, massive chain plate there. Look at that. That's, 3/8 inch thick steel at least, with maybe 1/2 inch bolts going through it. And it's got a big flat surface to mate it to, so it's not going to leak. And on top of that, it gives you a firm base right at the end of the bow up there, where your diving board, your bowsprit, comes out and sits in it. It has a good place to live on that, as opposed to just a pointy piece. Hey, look at the size of these bolts, these stainless bolts going through here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 12, 13 of them going all the way around on this, plus our friend Bob. I'm seeing 3 sets of rollers here. One for a CQR, a Danforth right off the bow. The Danforth may be what a lot of people consider a lunch hook. In other words, you can just drop that one right at the bow. It's an easy set, an easy recovery in most conditions. And then he's also put a third one up there too. So this boat's really set up to go cruising. And quite often, if you're really going offshore to islands and so forth, you'll find yourself setting 2 anchors 180 degrees out from each other.
Yeah, what does that do for you to set them 180 degrees apart?
Oh, well, that's a good question. You set one anchor, the wind's blowing right at you, right? You go to sleep, suddenly the wind changes. You're going to blow, and the boat's going to move right over that anchor and try to pull it out. So you set another anchor over here, so you're pulling back on this one, and this one's kind of a little slack. Then the wind shifts, the next thing you know, this anchor pulls up tight, and you're in good shape. I think it's that time.
All right.
Let's head to topsides.
All right.
You know what that is?
Single throttle and drive.
Right. So the nice thing about these, it's just a single action. So you push it forward, the engine goes into forward gear, and then you push it further forward and the boat goes faster. And then you just reverse that, pull it back, and to put it in reverse, and then pull it further back to go even faster in reverse. It's much easier than having two controls. It's not unusual for somebody to get just slightly confused whether or not they're putting a boat in gear or giving it gas. I'm standing in front of a really bright Ritchie compass, and there's a full array here of Raymarine Axiom electronics, GPS and radar combined. They've all been put on recently, so this is pretty new electronics. Nice to have it on board. So that'll tell you where you're going, and then right underneath it, we have the latest Raymarine autopilot control right here. There's also a VHF remote, an ICOM remote right up here, so you can talk to other ships, you can talk to marinas you're coming into. Nice electrical panel down here, and we like this again because it's all sealed off, right? So you got your RPM, oil pressure, water pressure, or water temperature, and so on. Also, of course, they've put in the eyes on either side for your safety harnesses. And you know what we always like to see here?
Little bilge pump.
And it comes complete with its own handle, and that's tied on there. There's the pump, and that's a really good thing. That's a little piece of very light line so that doesn't just fly over the side of the boat. And also in the same pocket, we have a winch handle that will just go right into this top entry. This is 2-speed winch. Crank it one way, brings it in 1 speed. Crank it in the other way, it comes in slower, but with more power. We have a nice awning. This is going to be a nice sun awning. It'll cover the helmsman's bald pate. And then also, look at the size and the scope of these dinghy davits back here. These are massive 6-part lines to raise this up. Those will just swing out over the transom and hoist your boat right up. We also have this bracket over here. We haven't seen many of those on a boat, have we? You know what that's for?
That looks like a giant davit, but no, I don't.
That's a single davit to lift your motor. Now on a boat this size, you might have a 9.6, 9.8 outboard motor, and that's going to weigh 70 or 80 pounds. You hoist it right up, and then you clamp it right down on this motor bracket right here. This set of lines that we're looking at all piled up here goes to the mizzen sheets for the boat. You can roll out the jib, or the Yankee in this case, whatever you got up there, and forget the main, and when it's blowing up to 15 or so, you just sit back here, grind that jib in, and then trim your Ketch mizzen right here.
I don't think I knew it was a Ketch.
This is a Ketch, and we have a good thing to notice right there. If you look down there, there's a dead giveaway.
That's a shoe cleaner. Where you...
You could use it as a scraper, right? Exactly. So we pretty much covered that. We've got an automatic life buoy here. Now they put them in this box, and when you pull that pin out, it'll fall out and it will be water activated. And on the very back, we have the throw line for the man overboard retrieval system. And that goes out. It's got probably 100 feet of line in there, and you throw that out to them. They grab it, put it around them, and then you take the line, this line, up to a big winch, and you just crank them back into the boat. This is kind of cute, and look at that. That's going to fold. That'll pop right out. I think we got a loose screw there, but that's a good place for somebody shorter than I to stand, or even I like that. And what do we have under here? We know, don't we?
Oh, a little propane.
Propane's storage system. The good heavy top on it. See the drain hole down there? That gray, that's going to drain fumes out of this tank and keep you explosion proof.
Could use the Captain Q gaskets.
Okay, Randy, I'm moving out of the helmsman's cockpit into the happy crew cockpit. Now, right here, let's take a look. What do we have? Our old favorite.
A little bit of a shallow one.
Yep. See what this locker holds. I've got an idea. It's going to hold, oh my gosh, all sorts of access to your generator. That's the generator for the boat, sitting right there with the expansion tank and so forth. It's a very clean bilge too. See how clean that is down there?
Yeah. Have we seen a boat with a generator before?
The Shield had a generator.
Yep.
We haven't seen too many, but you are correct on that. Now, we've got a switch down here. Here's your battery switch for this generator, just like running your engines. I believe that's the master house switch. And here are all the controls for the generator. Look how nice and easy it is to read those. And they've got this plexiglass cover for drippage. And the other thing I like about it, it's away from the cabin. What is that?
That's the old school bell alarm for the bilge.
Exactly. When you hear this bell go off, this is a good old clang sound. When you hear that clang, you better head for your bilge really fast, because you're probably picking up a little bit more water than the bilge pump is able to exhaust. Now on the other side, what do you suppose we got here? You think we have another shallow locker?
I'm gonna guess a full one.
Okay. Nope, we just have a giant one. Now this too is kind of fun because look, it's very similar to Firefly's in size. Remember how much she had huge sail lockers. And this is just here for storage, lots of electronics, but look at the condition of the bilge. This piece right here, take a look at this, with a heavy metal bracket on the inside of the cockpit wall there. You know what that is? That's going to raise and lower your centerboard.
Ah.
And there's where you put the winch handle for your centerboard.
Oh, that's unusual.
This is a really nice installation, and the wire is all covered with hose to protect it. Here's our typical winch handle holders and our sailing glove holders. There's a lot of small details on this boat that are important. This little baffle is really wonderful, and of course it's set up with a little hole, a little drain hole. We have an electric winch here, and that's got an in and out button on it. You're going to have a series of lines that are going to come back from the mast through the line stoppers and down here to this fair lead, and they're going to come to these line stoppers here, and we've got reef 1, reef 2, that's the mainsail, that's the main halyard probably right there. So on the other side, we have a mainsail sheet coming through here, and there's also a jib sheet. We have a nice little semi-bridge deck area right here, nice easy companionway, and the Dodger is nice and low, but it's easy to duck under. You see, some of these you can't get under very well. Right here you're going to put another mast, and it's going to go right up there, and you're going to have a boom over your head, and when it's bouncing around out in the deep blue, You can stand up and you can hold on to that mast and move around the boat. Should we go forward?
Yeah, let's go check out the foredeck.
Okay. I'm walking across typical Walt Schultz non-skid, this diamond grid. It's really handsome. It's very nice. It's nice to have a pattern there, not just a random pattern, just a nice pattern to the whole thing. And you know what? I'm going to give it a little test here. These aren't really good topsiders I have on, but it's going to give you a pretty good grip there. Pretty high lifelines. I think this is the same height they had on the Shannon 28 possibly. Those were quite tall.
How do you like the width of the side deck?
Oh, it's wonderful. Translucent dorade covers with some snappy wind vents here.
Nice.
Now, I'm just walking by right now a traveler that is set up for the staysail. Now, I'm not certain, I'm not certain if they use a staysail boom on this boat. Looks like it ought to be a hatch, but isn't that nice? Whoa, there's a great little storage area. They've maximized the room inside the boat, and we don't have a really large deck space up here. Look at that. Are you happy there?
That's the bowsprit to end all bowsprits.
Let me show you one thing they've done here too. See this? That's a non-skid that's been put on top of the varnish. And that's going to grab your shoes. You will not get to, you may not even be able to dive off that because it's going to stick to your feet so much. And look at the 3 anchor rollers and the heavy duties. And another thing I like too is that rather some people put these running lights down in the hull, I want somebody to see me, so they've got them up nice and high here. This is going to be the tang for your cutter rig.
And then the forward one?
And the forward one's going to be for the Yankee. It's a little lighter gauge because it's a little smaller sail. Here's a little locking device for your anchor with a pin into it, so you can lock your anchor up on deck. Here's another anchor catch to grab the chain. Randy has just noticed that we're walking right over a set of a match pair of safety lines that have been run fore to aft. And what you do, if you're going to come up here and work at night on the boat, and daytime even, you have your harness on, you clip into that, and you can walk the full length of the boat and not worry about going over the side. This is almost like the flush deck on the PB. We've got so much running room. Look at this. Boom, 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 boom.
Are you running down below?
Let's go below. Come on, buddy. Okay, Randy. Don't bother coming down.
No?
And feel free, you can go ahead and sell Firefly. It's okay. I have found my new mid-40s boat here. This is really deluxe, this boat.
I mean the woodworking is striking.
The sheen on that, I mean, it's just unbelievable. I don't see any nicks or scratches in it. It's solid. We know that Walt uses all solid wood. There's no veneers, no plywood facings on it. This is one of the more comfortable settees. Ooh, this could be leather, possibly. We have a gorgeous galley table, saloon table, but look at the nice dining area you've got down here. And the L-shaped settee over there.
Here's the patented Shannon overhead, that kind of easy to wipe down.
Yep, absolutely, the sort of carve-out planking look. And that's just plastic sheeting up there. And what's beside it? What else do we like up there?
Yeah, these little rails.
We're coming through the companionway. I'm on one side of the boat. I don't have to reach all the way over to the other side to get that. And I want to go to that side. I can just swing around with my hand there and grab another one and go down this side. Can I have this boat, Randy?
Does that have a sliding screen right there?
That little sliding screen goes right over there. Look at that. And locks. Locks right in there. Locks right in place. Is that cool?
Very cool.
And they open it up and it just zips right back. Lots of cabinetry things in here that we like, and good libraries, and again, all well fiddled. Not all these libraries are this well fiddled, and by fiddled I'm talking about these little pieces that go in and keep books and other things from falling out. Good storage for everything we always like to find here. And this is a really good boat. Now I know I'm going to stay here for the whole weekend here. Oh, one thing on the other side that we haven't had for a bit now too. This has become sort of a junk area, unfortunately. And there's a nice big lee cloth there, and you can see though, it's a pilot berth.
Oh, that's great.
So you're gonna be able to live in there and be very comfortable offshore. They've got the little sort of emergency lamps, we'll call them for the time being. These will burn kerosene. Something we don't see either. See the fiddles on this storage back here. We see these often on boats where there's that space back there. We do have 2 of the bigger sinks that we've seen right here. Very deep, commodious, close enough to the center line to keep the water in there. And we've got different pumps. This is the refrigerator drain over here. Remember we've talked about draining the refrigerator when the ice melts in it? Wow, that opening just did it by itself practically. And we have our famous, always in the same place, pots and pan storage, and that's pretty darn big. I don't know what this countertop is. I guess it's a Formica of some sorts, but it's really rich, the dark green.
Good.
Now, you need extra workspace. Everybody always says they always need extra workspace. On the other side, you have a giant refrigerator freezer section. And gee, if you got sandwiches or something making up here, what do you do to get into this thing? I know. We've got a door down here. Is this wonderful?
Oh, that's great.
And it's a fully stocked fridge. Look at that.
Huh.
How good does that get?
What do you know?
And notice inside the partition. That's going to keep foodstuffs from falling down, so you can have just what you want in the front section of this. And you know what these are for?
Just to stop the cold air from coming out, right?
Right. Oh, that top weighs 5 pounds. There's the airplane view, and there we go. And there's your freezer section, and more little shelves. And this is nice. Look how well they've hidden this thing away. We love our microwaves, but they're nothing pretty. They've never made a pretty microwave, have they? Here are your two meters to tell you what the temperature is in the fridge and in the freezer. Now we're on a boat here that's quite expensive, okay? And it is, it's got the best of everything. These hatches are the best of everything. Where else did we see these hatches?
We just saw them on the Endeavor.
Endeavor 32, right. And I love the big knurled knobs here that just easy to grab to and just got enough leverage to them to get them tight. And a little catch for it up here is important as well. Now we're going to move aft to the navigation station. And this is right up there too with my old buddy the Firefly, isn't it? We've got a radar analyzer. This is going to tell you if somebody's got some radar punching you out or tuning you in. Here's the Axiom backup for the one that's up on the helm. This is the ideal system for me for navigation. I want to do all my navigating down here. Anything in the cockpit is secondary and nice to have, but I want to do it down here in the peace and quiet and the dryness of the cabin and the nav station. And look at the circuit panel over here. This isn't set up under the companionway, is it? No, my gosh. Where do we like that? It's right over on the side. You think they do a good wiring job for these things? What do you think?
I would imagine.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Look at that. Nice library right handy here. And I've got a little locker. What do we have? Oh, we've got shelving. Look at this. This is the best nav station we've seen so far. And I can't tell you how comfortable I am sitting in this chair. All of Captain Q is happy right now. That's a bosun's whistle.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what you blow to, I won't impact that, to call certain orders to happen on a boat. There we go. We're going to take a look, see if we can find an engine here. I'll set this right over here, gently.
Some barn doors.
Look at the door. Look at the finish on this. And remember, this is all solid wood, okay, solid teak. And we're going to open that up. I bet that flops over. You know what this is right here?
Sound deadening.
Sound deadening, right. Do we see that on many engines? Nope.
Not a lot.
Nope, we don't see it at all, practically. Now, okay, we've got another award-winning item here. I don't know if you can get down behind me. Am I in your way there?
There we go.
Okay.
Yep.
Westerbeek, 71 horse, I think. Shoot me if I'm wrong, but certainly available to get to. There are side lockers coming in from down here by the nav station that you can pop in to reach anything you need to. This doesn't look like it's been run, and I think the meter on it calls out 1,200 hours, so that's really not much of anything, is it? You've got your primary fuel filters here, secondary fuel filters are available, expansion tanks, everything's right here. And we've got a manifold series here for the fuel tanks, and so you can pick up whatever tank you want to use and how you want to balance out the load on the boat. There's a Halon automatic fire extinguisher bolted to the overhead. And the wiring again in here is so crisp and tidy. There's nothing slopping around the engine. And look at the massive motor mounts down here. The motor base for it. And Whoa, this is just going to be wonderful. And you know what? You can also see the whole engine room is all soundproof down here throughout the whole thing. This is going to be a quiet running boat. So, wow, that's another big score here. What's this?
Ooh. Washboard holder.
That is a washboard holder. We never have a place to put it. And look, you can see the pattern. It's going to be perfect. You take it out, set it in there, and you have permanent washboards.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, it is great. So we got a Ketch rig, we got an aft cockpit, and in here we're going to have a nice little stateroom. Did I say little? Slap me. Now, one nice thing here, I can't quite see this. We've got a little indent here, so that'll take a filler piece for it too. But the nice thing about this is that you can get in and out of this bunk.
That's one of our fans.
Is that one of our fans?
That is.
And interestingly enough, they've thrown a fire extinguisher up here. Just another safety device. And directly overhead, I don't know if you can see this there. There you go. Another one of our happy hatches. Oh, Randy, you're such a devil. We have another twofer. And a big twofer, too. Look at the size of this thing. This is almost as big as the stateroom. Look at the size of the floor and the shower area in here. And we have a handheld shower that pops right up. We have opening port to let us out, and we have a little privacy curtain. This is very nice. And we have a mirror that will get, that's a pretty good mirror. We have a sliding door here that you may or may not have noticed when we first opened things up here. But look at the finish on this. I sort of feel like I'm on a steamship. This is sort of stuff you'd see on, I don't know, just some very, very fancy steamship. I was going to mention the Titanic, but we don't want to discuss that one. Now we're going to go forward here into the next cabin and look at this beautiful piece of dresser furniture here. God, this is just so wonderful. Everything. We just have a single door here, and look at the size of this head. Who gets the bigger head? You can't tell, can you?
Oh, it's enormous.
And that's got a nice opening port for it. They're both manual heads, and that's kind of nice. That has its pluses and minuses. It'd be nice to have an electric head in there, but if you're going offshore and going a distance, those can break. Oh, by the way, we are loaded with heat and air conditioning in this boat, reverse cycle. Look up in the chain locker how it's divided there for chain and rope on one side. And you got a couple of screws so you can take that board out and really flush that out and clean it out. Look at the size of these lockers here. And look at the ceiling inside, all carried up. I'm going to give it a test, but look at this.
It's in your contract.
But these are real pillows. Okay, I'm going to take my shoes off here. Okay, I'm going up. Oh. Oh yeah. We have two port lights, two of these massive hood port lights, and a big overhead, square overhead, probably 4 square feet of hatchway there. I do like my locker my library over here too, because I have a lot of books. And we have a fan over here just to get rid of all my hot air.
Speaking of that,
Randy?
I'll see you later.
Thanks, Guy. Close the door.
All right, we'll see ya.
Another day, another boat. What can we say? We are so lucky, and it gets. I love the surprises we have. We've seen a Shannon 28. We have seen a Shannon 39. Now we've seen a Shannon 43. I'm giving up the Ted Hood Firefly so that I can buy this Shannon 43. It's a wonderful boat and most exquisitely put together below decks. Certainly in Hinckley tradition, if not equal to or better. She's in great shape. A lot of comfort on this boat and a lot of safety on this boat too. So I think we should probably give this a rating. What do you think?
Yeah, let's see what you
got. This is a 10 to start out. I'm not gonna quibble about the 10.
Why is it a 10?
Because we know she can float. I'm going to another 15 on top of it. This is a 25.
Woo.
25, this boat is so good. It's a 25. It's got everything I could want, and it's got it the way I would want it. Oh, don't forget, I'd like to give it another extra point just for the navigation station. The best of all we've seen, 26.
There you go.
26 for this boat, and I don't think anybody would ever be disappointed with it. The Shannon handiwork that Mr. Schultz fostered onto these boats is unbeatable. If If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified when the next one comes out, please hit the alert bell. And that's not desperate at all. We're having too good a time doing these things, so you're going to hit the bell or not. Randy, how would I ever find out what's coming up next?
You can follow us on Instagram here
Yeah.
or Facebook here. We'll have little previews of what's coming up in our next episodes. A little bit early.
That's pretty cool. Previews. You all join me. I'm going to Instagram right now, and I'm going to find out what's coming up next week. Thank you very much.
You know, Instagram's not a place.